you live ECU? Do you bleed purple and gold? Are you ready to hoist the colors?
Hoist the colors!
It's time for the most in-depth look into the world of ECU athletics. Welcome to Hoist the Colors with your host, Stephen Igo on 94.3 The Game. Watch the show live on Facebook and at 943thegame.com. Here's Stephen Igo.
It's our final show of Thanksgiving week, and we're going to dive into the ECU-FAU game, preview that, make our game picks, as we often do every Friday. This time we're going to get to it on a Wednesday. It'll be a busy hour ahead, but looking forward to it. We're live on YouTube, Facebook, X. Got a question, comment, concern, drop it there, and we'll try to get to it. We have a lot to cover. We will visit with Robbie LaStella, who covers FAU for the Owl's Nest, in our next segment, get an in-depth look at what the Owls bring to the table, heading into Saturday's regular season finale. It turns out that ECU is indeed still mathematically alive for a conference championship berth. We'll tell you about that. Philip Pilkington was right. He's back in the 94.3 The Game studios. One of those teams on the cusp of winning a title just lost its coach to Oklahoma State, although North Texas's Eric Morris will continue to coach the team through the rest of the season, even if they make a college football playoff berth. We'll get into that. The other team, Tulane, will make the college football playoff if they win the next two because they're ranked, and they would be the highest ranked Group of 5 champion. Oh, yeah, they may lose their coach too, John Sumrall being mentioned for a number of jobs. And another American team appears as though they have lost their coach as well, Alex Golish, USF head coach. The reports are saying that he is on his way to taking the Arkansas job, although that one's not 100% confirmed yet. Looks like it's leaning in that direction. And ECU basketball, if we want to get into that, Pirate Hoops still in a bad place. 89-56 loss to a really good Michigan State team, but it was 73-31 at one point. Just a complete butt kicking to open the Fort Myers tip-off as ECU falls to 2-4. They'll be back in action. St. Bonaventure on Thanksgiving Day at 12 noon Eastern. Philip Pilkington, he is back in the 94.3 The Game studios. Philip, I just want to congratulate you. I kind of laughed at you yesterday when you were talking about scenarios of keeping ECU's very, 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 very slim hopes alive of making the conference championship. But the conference validated your statement, and ECU is indeed alive.
Hey, they listen to this radio show. I love my guy Tim Pernetti. I'm sure that's the reason they put it out, because he was listening to us. Hey, man, look, you're saying there's a chance, and that's all I need to know. There's a chance, and if somebody jumps up and wins the Mountain West that shouldn't, if JMU falls in the championship game, and the Pirates win 4 in a row after their conference championship game, I'm just saying, there's a victory parade in Greenville, baby. We're going down Greenville Boulevard with the CFP trophy. There's a chance.
The Pirates still have a chance at a national championship. It is possible, although the stars would have to align. Because here's what ECU is looking at. I wrote an article on it. You can check it out, hoistedcolors.net, where I can go into a little more detail. But essentially, what would have to happen for ECU to even have a shot based upon computer metrics? I wrote the most likely path would involve an ECU blowout win over FAU. And I'm talking like a win where you probably got to run up the score. A Navy loss to Memphis. They probably need to lose pretty handily. A Tulane loss to Charlotte. Ugh. And a USF loss to Rice. If all that occurred, it would seem possible because it would come down to an average composite metric ranking after the games conclude. And right now, ECU is dead last out of all 5 teams in contention at 54.25. North Texas all the way at 24.75. USF all the way at 28.25. So I think they need to lose to even get out of the picture. Tulane at 38.25. That's a 16-point gap between ECU and Tulane, but if they lose to Charlotte, obviously their metrics would crater. ECU, for example, they were 44 last week, got crushed at UTSA and dropped all the way down to 54. So one game can still move the needle quite a bit, and Navy's at 49, 5 spots ahead of ECU. So possible, Philip, but I mean, let's be honest. Here's the good news, okay, before I throw it back to you. It's all about motivation, getting the guys motivated. As long as one of Navy loses to Memphis on Thursday or Temple beats North Texas on Friday, ECU will take the field having a chance at a conference championship at noon on Saturday.
So here's my question, though. I understand what all you said there, and you mentioned ECU jumping Tulane. Can ECU jump Tulane? They can in the computer metrics, but because Tulane is ranked currently in the college football playoff rankings and the championship game will be decided Saturday night prior to the next college football playoff rankings, wouldn't Tulane automatically be ahead of ECU? So doesn't Tulane losing not actually have to happen? We just have to jump North Texas, which I know is a less chance than us jumping Tulane in the metrics, but correct me if I'm wrong, but that's what has to happen.
The American tiebreakers say if the team ranked loses, then it goes back to the computer metrics.
Okay, I didn't realize that.
Yes.
And I guess that's because they're only 20 whatever, and they would probably fall out of the rankings.
Yes. So 24 is what they are. And it says now if the team ranked wins, then if they're the highest ranked, they automatically go in because obviously they would not drop out. That's the way the tiebreakers read.
If they were, hypothetically, serious, you're telling me if they were 6 and they lost to a team who was barely not ranked, then it would go to the computer metric, or do you think they'd waive that?
That's the way I read the metrics or the way I read the tiebreakers.
I wonder if they just put it out. I wonder if they just put it out that way, just like knowing, like, hey, look, they're 24. If they lose to Charlotte, their rear ends ain't going to be ranked come Tuesday night.
Yeah. I mean, let's be honest. If they lose to Charlotte, just kick them out. Kick them out of the league. I mean, you don't deserve to go to the conference championship. Even if their metrics are higher, they should just like automatically delete them from
relegated to the MAC.
Yeah.
And you will have to play UMass at 4:30 in the afternoon on a Tuesday like Bowling Green did yesterday.
And here, look, again, North Texas, they're on this list. They've already lost their head coach, South Florida. And he'll coach the game, obviously, but still, like, you just never know what the headspace is going to be. South Florida, they're playing Rice, big favorites. Like, their coach is leaving. What do they even have to play for? All we need now is John Summerall to be announced as the next head coach at Auburn before kickoff on Saturday night, and it could happen.
It could.
We need a miracle.
It would. I just want to throw a hypothetical question to you, and this is not really in relation to what we're talking about, but a roundabout way is, we talk about, hey, how much are the young men going to be bought in now that the coach is leaving? Do you think in modern day college football there's a less chance of a student athlete not being bought in because the coach is leaving? Because at the end of the day, they didn't commit to the coach. They didn't commit to the university. They committed to the paycheck that the donors are now and the revenue sharing is now writing them.
Yeah, I mean, that's very fair. And if you're on the roster at this point, you're playing your regular season finale. Let's be real, you're putting out film for your next paycheck as well. And so I think that's fair. The only thing I would have caution about is if you're Byron Brown and you're following Alex Golesh to Arkansas, or if you're Mestamaker and you're following Morris to Oklahoma State, the last thing you want to do is get hurt and cost yourself more money. So maybe you go out there and you're not pushing it as hard. I don't know. I mean, I think there's two. End of the day, USF could go out there at half play and still beat Rice by 17 if they can stop the option. So I don't know. It's
but
just
North
one of those,
Texas can't half play and beat Temple.
Yeah, I agree
if you
with that.
don't show up against Temple, they're going to beat you.
Yeah, they're going to play hard. They're playing for a bowl game. Rice is as well. We've already seen how USF does stopping the option against Navy. So, I mean, crazier things have happened. But look, it's just a weird time, man. And like I did want to kind of get into this discussion, so we'll jump into this. Like the college football calendar is broken, and the fact that North Texas is having its best season ever, 2 wins away from a college football playoff appearance, and your coach is leaving. Now, this just doesn't happen. This could happen to Ole Miss. I want to make this clear. This is not just a group of 5 thing. This is a college football thing. Ole Miss could win on Friday, and Lane Kiffin might announce before they go to the playoff that he's going to LSU. So this is not just a group of 5 thing. This is a college football problem. There's got to be a better way to do this, and I don't know how you would do it. That's the big issue with the calendar and with the semester starting. But under no circumstance should you be having the best season in school history and your coach announce he's leaving. I mean, ECU could find itself in the same situation in the coming years with Blake Harrell or somebody else. They're on the verge of a college football playoff appearance. And I don't blame Eric Morris. I don't blame Oklahoma State because they have to get a guy in place. and with the way the calendar's set up. But it's just frustrating, man, the whole process. And the same thing with Ole Miss. I don't blame Lane Kiffin or LSU or anybody, but we just got to find a way to just make this make more sense at the end of the day.
We do. And I agree with you. It's don't hate the player, hate the game, right? The issue is the system. And, this is somehow fixable. And the reason why we know it's fixable is this is not happening at the college basketball level to the extent that it's happening at the football level. Yes, we knew going into the NCAA tournament last year that Will Wade would be leaving McNeese to go to NC State. That was one coach in a 68-team field. Also, you're McNeese. You're not going on a run in this thing anyways. You're just happy to be there, and you still know that he was coaching his rear end off before, they left and went to NC State. And it wasn't like he was going to pack his bags the second they lost. He had plenty of time to still be with the team on the flight back, do some things before he came to Raleigh. So, but it's not happening anywhere else. You're not having, hey, well, let's use the NC State example from the previous year. You're not having, they're going to the Final Four for the first time in God knows how long, and now Kevin Keats is being poached by, Kentucky, right? Like that wasn't happening. So if it's not happening in football, it's happening in basketball. It's happening a little bit more maybe in baseball. I mean, everybody knew that Pollard was going to be out at Duke, even though it had not officially been announced. But it's happening in football at too high of a rate is the problem. It's the rate. It's not it's going to happen, but
Yeah, it's just if we could just find a way to redo the counter a little bit. I just wanted to add this. Look, again, I don't blame Eric Morris or Alex Golis for jumping when they can. I think it's smart. Oklahoma State's offense will be fun to watch, and he'll probably take his quarterback, running back, receiver, all of which are freshmen, and they'll be pretty good on offense overnight. But Eric Morris and Alex Golis, I think they're okay hires. I was saying this in our group chat. I'd rather have Jeff Traylor, to be honest. I mean, I know they're having a mediocre year, but he's now in year 6. They've made a bowl game every season. When they had the top resources in the Conference USA, they won back-to-back championships. They don't have the top resources in the American, and they still managed to knock off some of the best teams. Obviously, he can't take the Alamo Dome with him, but at the same time, I think next year, as it stands right now, we'll see what happens. It looks like Silverfield will be back in Memphis, barring something crazy. Jeff Traylor at UTSA and Blake Harrell at ECU. I think if you're an ECU fan, now is the time to invest more than ever because there should be, and we'll see what happens with the offseason, but invest in your team, retainment. If you can bring back this core, you go into next year as a favorite in the American on paper. And so I'm just saying get behind this team while you can more than ever because I think next year your 3 favorites are Memphis, UTSA, ECU if I'm looking at today.
No, I agree with you. And, keeping Gaten Hauser is going to be so crucial in this. We were talking about before the show. And, like I said, it's when turnover happens, and it's part of the reason that we have come on in the other breath and just kind of, dog teams for firing coaches at such a quick rate. But when coaches get poached, it usually does take a year. And right now, like you said, South Florida, North Texas, Tulane, they're the top of the league. And most likely all 3 of them will have a new coach. And it's going to take, even if it takes half a year, they'll in there and they'll drop a game they shouldn't. Therefore, like you said, these 3 should be the big 3. And look, it's like I said, it probably won't last long because as soon as they're the big 3, those coaches will be poached as well. So you got to strike while the iron's hot.
No doubt. All right. We got to get a break in. Davy Jones asked, did I hear it right? East Carolina has 30 seniors on their team this year. Yeah, 30 were recognized. You're going to have a lot of this. Think of it like this way. 30 of those guys were recognized as seniors, but probably half of them came in the last year or two. I think 4 or 5 of them spent their entire career at ECU. So it's just one of those things. You're going to get a lot of 1-year, 2-year transfers. You're going to have big senior classes every year as a result. So I don't think it's as big of a deal as maybe it seems, although certainly you want to continue to, develop the guys that are going to stay within your program. All right, let's get a break in. We'll come back. We'll visit with Robbie LaStella from the Owl's Nest, covers FAU on the other side. We'll dive deeper into that matchup. This is Hoist the Colors.
The team of Flatlands Jessup is working overtime to help ensure that Eastern North Carolinians like you get the health insurance help you need this open enrollment period. New legislation passed meaning more people than ever qualify for affordable coverage. Let us help you today.
Big tax credits are back. Get a 30% tax credit, up to $2,000 off your new Mitsubishi electric heat pump install. Let Comfort Master help you take advantage of the tax credits with a qualifying Mitsubishi electric ducted heat pump or non-ducted Mitsubishi electric mini splits. Mitsubishi electric mini splits are ideal for bonus rooms, garages, or sunrooms. If you need a new HVAC unit, call Comfort Master today.
Call Comfort Master. Call Comfort Master.
You know what the problem is with standard belts? Usually you have to choose between too tight or the opposite, too loose. But with Anson Belt and Buckle, you don't have to choose. We got rid of the holes and instead have a track system designed for micro-adjustability. That way you can enjoy a perfect fit every time. Anson Belt and Buckle. Find your perfect fit today.
Healthwise Pharmacy rounds the bases with all of your infusion, retail, compounding, and medical equipment needs. Locally owned and operated by pharmacist Marcy Parker, Healthwise has grown to be your most trusted provider for infusion services. Currently providing in-home or on-site infusions in North Carolina, South Carolina, and Virginia. Visit Healthwise Pharmacy at 615B South Memorial Drive or call 252-295-0059 to speak to a patient service representative to find the option that best suits your needs.
Tired of the 1-800 numbers advertising Medicare products? Flatlands Jessup has 6 offices all throughout eastern North Carolina. Get face-to-face help from our local award-winning licensed team. Stop by today. Flatlands Jessup, your whole world covered.
The best burgers around. Everyone loves a thick, juicy, and fresh burger. Tiebreakers does real burgers better than anybody. And don't forget about the cheese sticks, fresh salads, and more. So don't just go to any burger-themed restaurant chain. It's time to break the chain and eat local. Tiebreakers, burgers and sports at its best.
Go Pirates! Arg!
In this age of globalization, we've learned that bigger isn't always better. Ever tried to get phone help from a big corporation from a real person? Right. That's what's so nice about Phelps Chevrolet. After more than 50 years serving our community, Phelps remains family-owned and operated. Mike, Daryl, Wave, West, Alan, and Clay deliver hometown service and integrity, same as always. They share your experience, they share your values, and they are ready to help with any motoring need. Come get you one.
Oh, hey, welcome back. You got here just in time. This is Hoist the Colors on 94.3 The Game.
Welcome back in. Hoist the Colors, segment 2 here. Final show of Thanksgiving week before ECU and FAU this Saturday in Boca Raton. We'll visit now with Robbie LaStella. He covers FAU firsthand for the Owl's Nest. Robbie, welcome back, man. We talked this summer, and we talked about kind of the potential this FAU team had under Zach Kittley, offensively especially. It's kind of proven to be true, Robbie, and there's been ups, there's been downs, but 4-7 going into this weekend. How would you kind of sum up Coach Kittley's first season thus far in Boca?
Yeah, you definitely, well, first of all, appreciate it for having me back on here. Love the good people of East Carolina, but definitely what you said there, ups and downs so far, has definitely been the story of the season. They had some clunker losses there early on, especially you look at the FIU game. That's one they would like back because this game would be competing for bowl eligibility. That's the old in-state rivalry. I don't know who East Carolina would be. It's comparable, maybe an App State or something like that. But this year didn't go FAU's way, and they had won that multiple years in a row. So that was an early clunker, but they've been able to rebound. They had some good conference wins, and last week they really gave it their all to try to get to this game with bowl eligibility. They were down 24-3, and they could have easily quit, but they fought back, took the lead twice, but they didn't have the defense to slow down what UConn's doing. They got something special this year up there, so. Definitely a lot to like offensively. Even defensively at times there's been some highlights as well. First year overall, it was a very tough schedule, but I think the fans and a lot of people head into next year with some hope. No one ever knows what happens with the transfer portal, but looks like the Owls will be marked safe from any coaching search craziness. So that's some stability there for them to build on for sure.
Yeah, Robbie, looking at the last 4 games, I know obviously a 1-3 record, but you dive deeper into it. I mean, Navy, they competed on the road in Annapolis. They beat Tulsa pretty handily when I think Tulsa has won 2 games since then. That Tulane game, I think they outgained the Green Wave, and without some problems on their side of the field, they would have had a shot to win it. And then UConn, you talked about it. So, like, what has changed over these last 4 games? Are they just getting more comfortable in Coach Kitley's system, or what has kind of led to them playing better lately?
Yeah, I definitely think, they've kind of figured themselves out a little bit. You go back to that Memphis, that USF game. I think offensively, they've been struggling this season with a lack of run game. I think, everyone thinks air raid and thinks, you don't need the run. Well, if you look at what Coach Kitley did last year at Texas Tech, a lot of his success through the air was built off through what Taj Brooks has done or what he did on the ground last year. So the lack of run game consistently early on and even still has hurt FAU, but I think recently offensively they've found ways to overcome that, avoid the long down situations that without a lack of run game they were finding themselves in a lot. And on the defensive side of the ball, I think they're finally starting to make some plays. They had it for I think it was the first, up until that Tulsa game, they had no forced interceptions on the season. So they've definitely been able to get more aggressive in terms of forcing turnovers and even rushing the passer as well. It hasn't been perfect. All those close losses you mentioned, there's definitely some plays where they would like it back and they could potentially have gone a different way. But I think they are just getting a little bit more comfortable with what they've got. They know they don't have a lot of depth in that running back room, so they've been finding ways to get what they've got working as well as getting things going in a short pass game as well. So I think it's been starting to click a little bit, and that's what gives some FAU fans hope going into next year.
Obviously, it starts with Caden Veltkamp at quarterback, and coming over from Western Kentucky, we knew he had real ability, and he's thrown for 3,400 yards already this year. Part of that, as you mentioned, maybe a lack of run game, the need to throw the ball, but 24 touchdowns, 15 picks, a little high. Robbie, how much of that, looks like there's games maybe he's thrown multiple picks, but how much of that is hard to know without watching? Like, is that all on him? Is that a byproduct of not having much help around him at times? What has kind of led to some of those mistakes? And when he's in a groove, what allows him to really, get into that rhythm, so to speak?
Yeah, I do think a lot of people look, you can get caught box score watching a little bit with the interceptions. The volume in the offense is going to create more opportunities for mistakes. There definitely have been some throws where he's missed. Kitley's talked about, he's dealing with, like any quarterback who takes hits but doesn't sit out. He's dealing with sore shoulder, which I think 2 weeks ago was impacting him a little bit more than it is now. So, he was worried about that. And it's also, there's been multiple times this season where, unfortunately wide receivers made mistakes as well, whether that's running the wrong route, whether that's drops that have led to interceptions. So there has been kind of a variety of things, I'd say, that have led to the interceptions. It's not one thing. I don't really think it's, just his fault. But what they do to what he's done to kind of get in rhythm when he's not throwing interceptions is, the amount of wide receivers that he has in that room. He doesn't. A lot of people just assume Messer's his go-to guy, and that can be true at times. But he's got 4 or even 5 at times that he can go to, and I think when he spreads the ball around, it opens up the offense and spreads the defense out a little bit, and that really is what allows him to find success. I think a lot of times the long down situations really led to some mistakes early there in the season. We've seen them correct that here later in the year, though.
Robbie LaStella, who covers FAU from the Owl's Nest, is with us previewing ECU-FAU. Pirates are around a touchdown favorite right now. You look at this matchup, I would say ECU, at least on paper, has the advantage defensively, although if they play what they did against UTSA, maybe not. But with FAU defensively, what can the Pirates expect there? Like, what type of scheme do they run, and what do they do well when they're playing at their best?
Yeah, they run a multiple look. I do think, we've seen them recently start to, in terms of trying to, an issue earlier on in the year, that they were struggling to rush the passer, and I think recently we've seen them rotate a lot on the defensive line, get different guys in there. I think when this defense is being successful, they are putting pressure on the quarterback and in turn forcing mistakes. We've seen that be successful here over the last couple weeks early on in the season. I think, what contributed to their lack of forced turnovers was the overall inability to get pressure on the quarterback. The quarterback would get comfortable and, wouldn't make any mistakes. And so they've definitely improved their pass rush throughout the season. Run defense has been up and down. It really depends on the week. Some weeks they really look good. I mean, I thought they did a pretty good job against a Tulane run game, which has been solid at times, but they struggle, late game against UConn, let them get a bunch of big runs to work their way down the end zone and win that game. So run defense has been up and down. I think, the secondary has struggled at times as well. They do a lot. We've seen a lot of different guys at corner and at safety as well. So I think that is definitely potentially a weak point that ECU could find a way to combat and hurt the FAU defense. But, they also have been making plays lately. Terez Reed, a guy who's playing JUCO last year and now is a major contributing corner for FAU. So it took him time to get going. Demarius McGee transferred in from Kansas, didn't play a ton there, and now it took him time to ramp up, and he's been playing better as of late. So defense has been improving, but it hasn't been perfect. There's been inconsistencies in the secondary and in run defense. But I think right now the strength is going to be their ability to kind of get after the passer and make him make mistakes. And the weakness probably would be the secondary right now.
It'll be a 12 noon Eastern kickoff on Saturday. I always say, Robbie, these post-Thanksgiving games, they're tricky. Obviously holiday weekend, a lot of distractions. Some players may be thinking about the portal already and what their next move is. You've got, bowl games coming up. So, FAU obviously losing the way they did, how much of a concern is it? Maybe they come out a little disappointed, a little flat. On the other end, they know it's going to be their last time playing this year together. And then on ECU's end, they were just basically eliminated from conference title contention, although there's still a mathematical chance. It's highly, highly unlikely, but still, how much do you think motivation matters going into Saturday, just with the unknown kind of on both sides?
I think that's the interesting thing in college athletics right now is how much does the senior day matter anymore? Because, I think a couple years ago everyone would say, even if, the season didn't go the way they wanted, everyone will come up fired out for their seniors. I do think this is a game where I think we still see both teams still playing to their best of their abilities. I think FAU definitely is going to give it their best. We may see some more young guys as well. I look at a receiver like Brandon Hoke for FAU. He's kind of been fifth or sixth on the depth chart, but he's a freshman. He's made plays. Like, that's a guy who I think could get run this week, just as an example. They can rotate different guys in, give them some juice as well. But I think, it's a first year. I think a lot of these guys are buying into what Kitley's selling. And I think, they were down 24-3 in their last one, and they found a way to muster up a comeback, which I hadn't seen from this team all season. So I don't think that just goes away in a span of the week. Maybe there's a guy or two here and there who's bought out, and maybe they ride the pine, or maybe they don't even suit up. I don't know. But overall, for the majority, I do think they'll come out fired up and trying to win one more game.
He is Robbie LaStella. Check out his work. The Owl's Nest covers FAU. Robbie, we'll see you in Boca Raton on Saturday, man. Have a happy Thanksgiving and appreciate the time.
You guys as well. Thanks for having me. If there's any ECU fans coming down, enjoy a nice holiday weekend in Boca.
No doubt. Should be some solid weather. Hopefully nice and warm in Boca Raton. All right, that's Robbie LaStella from the Owl's Nest. Let's get a break in. We'll come back. We'll pick this game. Bobby Harvard will join us along with Phillip, and we'll make our picks against the spread for college football, including ECU-FAU and then NFL. Huge weekend, huge week of football ahead. We'll get into that and more. This is Hoist the Colors.
Storm season is approaching. North Carolina weather can damage your roof, and before long, a small leak can turn into a big problem. Your home is one of your biggest investments, so protect it with Wells Home Improvements.
We work with all insurance companies for a hassle-free roof installation experience. Call us today and get 10% off your roof installation when you mention this commercial.
252-227-8403 or visit us online at wellshomeimprovements.com. Wells Home Improvements. Local, honest, dependable.
This is about you, your family, and the health of all who live in Eastern North Carolina. This is about the transformation of a health system into something more powerful and more human. About creating new ways to treat disease and keep you well. This is about ECU Health, which is to say, it's really all about you. ECU Health. Minds, hearts, purpose.
You have a choice when you invest in insurance, and when you choose First State Insurance Advisors, you're working with people you can trust. Clark Stallings has deep ties in the community. His team, including Keaton Smith, Regina Asby, Phil Leyva, Max Joyner Jr., Max Joyner III, and Ginger Smith, provides knowledgeable and professional advice. First State Insurance Advisors is an independent insurance agency. They offer all types of personal insurance as well as various types for business. Call or email First State Insurance Advisors today. We want to be your trusted choice agency.
Acre Station Meat Farm, along with Lane Angus Beef, bring you Farm to Fork Beef.
Stock your freezers now with affordable beef boxes just in time for the grilling season.
Farm to Fork Beef brings quality local beef to your family. From your traditional butcher shop, Acre Station Meat Farm. Come on down to Acre Station Meat Farm and find out why we're #1 in fresh cuts and friendly service.
Acre Station Meat Farm, Highway 32 North, Pinetown. At National Finance, we're all about hometown support, just like ECU football. National Finance helps us win on and off the field. They've got your back when you need it most. Fast, easy personal loans for life's big plays. And just like us, they're committed to Eastern North Carolina. National Finance, proud supporters of ECU Athletics. Visit nfcmoney.com for loans as fast as today.
Welcome back in segment 3, Hoist the Colors on Wednesday before Thanksgiving. Our final show of the week. We're going to make our picks now, including ECU-FAU. We've got Phillip Pilkington back in the 94.3 The Game studios. We also have Bobby Harvard now online. He sent in his picks written for him. The real question is, should I just go ahead and read them, Bobby, so you don't have to talk? But no, thanks for hopping on, man.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like y'all have a little bit of insider trading and maybe can fade some of my picks if you feel like you need to. But it feels a little weird being in on a Wednesday. But I tell you what, running outside, this is like perfect fall weather right now. A little warm, but still, I mean, it feels like fall. It feels like football. Hard to believe it's the last regular season week of the season.
The weather has been awesome the last few days. Phillip, do we have a standings update?
Yeah, we do.
Let's hear it.
It's tight. You can throw a blanket over all of us. Right now, you guys are tied for second, batting 500, 74 and 74. And I've got a one-game lead on you. It's 75 and 73. And just as it's been all year, even though Igo has been doing better at NFL, it's still amazing. Like me and Bobby are both roughly 500. in both college and NFL. Igo still, it proves why you are the expert college football guy, because if we were only picking college, you could already crown yourself a champion. And if we were only picking NFL, well, good thing your job's in college football, buddy. That's all I got to say.
That's why I put one more college game on the sheet this week than NFL, as I got to continue to make up ground so I can pass you guys. I tell you what, man, what a week for football this is going to be. I had trouble narrowing it down. We're going to pick 7 college games. We'll go ahead and get to it so we have time. We'll start with East Carolina FAU. This will be Saturday noon. When I sent it over last night, it was at 7. ECU favored by a touchdown. I've seen it at 6.5, but we'll just go with what I sent yesterday. So ECU at FAU, 7-point spread. I think this is going to be a high-scoring game. I think FAU hangs around. I'm going to pick ECU to cover. I think they show up motivated. They want to get a win. I think it's high-scoring, and they pull away in the second half, win by a couple of scores. But I expect a lot of points here. We'll go with Bobby next.
Yeah, I'm going to go FAU to cover. I think this is just an interest. You said it earlier in today's show that Thanksgiving games are weird, and this is just how does this team bounce back after a really letdown performance? It's going to tell a lot. But side note, this game has the highest over/under of the weekend on DraftKings, so a lot of points expected.
You know, guys, the Pirates will be up by either 3 or 4, and they'll be trying to run the 4-minute offense. They're going to sneak Javante Connor down the seam, Caden Hauser over the top, dart, dime, nail in the coffin. Pirates by 10. Pirates cover.
We did have a question. Will Yannick Smith be ready to go? I don't have any inside intel, just being honest. We get shut out at practice, but I would just be surprised if he played, just based on the way he was still moving last week and the fact that he's a receiver. I mean, you just need your ankle at near 100% to play. But we'll see. We'll see if he'll go. All right, Navy is at Memphis. This is a game that has conference title implications, especially if one of North Texas or Tulane gets tripped up. Memphis is a 5.5-point favorite. Brendan Lewis is expected to play. And again, it just comes down to motivation here. Like, what is Memphis's motivation? I'll be honest, I don't have a great feel for this game. Both teams off a bye. Memphis, though, has lost 2 in a row. I think they have some pride here. And I just don't think Navy is that good. I know they beat South Florida, but I'm going to go with Memphis here at home. 5.5 is a lot, but I'm going to go with the Tigers. They usually play the option pretty well. Bob?
Yeah, I'm going to go midshipman here. I think they're playing for a lot. They're playing for, obviously, a conference championship game the following week. I had said in my notes that I said to y'all this morning, does losing this game secure another year at Memphis for Silverfield? Well, I don't think that's a question anymore after Alex Golish reportedly potentially going to Arkansas. So I think Memphis is stuck with Silverfield, but give me the midshipman.
I think Memphis wins it by a full score. I think it's going to be a 35-28 kind of deal.
Ole Miss is at Mississippi State on Friday night, and they are just a touchdown favorite against Mississippi State. And again, this comes down to motivation for me. Obviously, we know both teams are going to be fired up for the Egg Bowl, but, Ole Miss doesn't even know if their coach is coming back. I mean, there's a very real scenario they could announce Saturday that he's going to LSU. Egg Bowl, weird things happen throughout the records in a rivalry game, but I did read that Mississippi State's run defense is extremely porous. Ole Miss has a great running back, and I'm going to go with Ole Miss winning on the road. I think this is a tight game throughout. Ole Miss scores late to cover a touchdown on the road. I'm going to go Rebels. Bobby.
Rivalry games are weird. I think this game is either going to be a complete blowout in favor of Ole Miss or a Bulldog upset. I have family ties to the Mississippi State Bulldogs. Give me more cowbell.
Yeah, I'm going to go with Bobby here. Look, Mississippi State has done a very good job this season of being in games. They know they can play spoiler here. If you do look, both the last 2 games at Starkville, the Rebels have won it by 10, but I think the Rebels win it, but I do think the Bulldogs keep it close, so I'll ride with Bob here on State.
Mississippi State needs a win to get to a bowl game as well, so extra motivation there. 2. All right, A&M is a 2.5-point favorite at Texas. A&M unbeaten. Do I trust them to go on the road? I picked against A&M a lot this year, and I've been burned by it. And A&M has to win this game, basically, from what I've read, to most likely win, because their schedule is so weak, common opponents in the SEC. They've got to win to make the SEC championship. I think they do that. I think they get it done. I think they're just a better team than Texas, although Texas, with a win, could still sneak into the CFP, technically speaking. But I'm going to go A&M here. I just think they're better, more trustworthy. Bobby?
Hook 'em horns. The Longhorns are at home. I'm with you. You said it earlier. A&M's schedule in the SEC has been a joke. Their toughest opponent has been Missouri, who's 3-4. Hook 'em.
Horns down. Give me the Aggies.
I'm opposite of Bobby, all 4 picks. So this is going to go one of 2 ways. Ohio State at Michigan. Ohio State's a 10-point favorite. Everything says Ohio State should win comfortably. Give me Michigan. I mean, at this point, I'm just fully on vibes. Michigan. I'm putting money on Michigan money line. To be honest, I think I'm that comfortable with them being in Ryan Day's head, and the weather's not supposed to be great. So give me the Wolverines, Bobby.
That takes some intestinal fortitude to make that bet there, Mr. Igo, because everything says Ohio State Buckeyes, because it will be the Ohio State Buckeyes, because this game will not be close. Bryce Underwood's head is going to be spinning against this Ohio State defense, and the Buckeyes are going to release some demons that they've had pent up over the last year, couple years now against Michigan.
Yeah.
Weren't they supposed to do that last year, and then they lost at home to a terrible Michigan team?
Just wait. Just wait. You'll be surprised. You are correct, and they may be in the head, but give me the Buckeyes.
Yeah, I'm with Bob here. Look, man, this is it's been all Michigan for so long when it shouldn't be. And the whole narrative is Ryan Day can't win against Michigan. Well, he's going to find a way. He's going to win it big, and then they're going to get to the college football playoff. They're going to play a real team out of the SEC, and they're going to get the rear ends handed to them. But, hey, they'll still have a big win over Michigan, so it'll all be okay for the Buckeyes.
The crazy thing about this game is, it doesn't even matter that much to Ohio State. I mean, obviously it's Ohio State, Michigan, so it matters a lot. But, they could lose this game, still win the Big Ten title game, and get a bye. So,
it'd still probably be the number 1 seed if they –
Yeah.
Yeah, as long as they beat it, because the only team to stand in front of them, the number 1 seed, would be Indiana. They'd beat Indiana next weekend.
So, hey, I don't love this Michigan team at all. I'm just going purely off vibes. All right, Vandy is at Tennessee. Tennessee's a 3-point favorite, guys, here. Rocky Top at home. Vandy outside shot at a CFP appearance. Rivalry game as well. And I'm going to go Vandy here. I just think, again, they're the better team. Tennessee, who have they beaten this year that's any good? I'm going Vandy until proven otherwise. They're a better team. Bobby?
I'm with you. We are going to agree for once. I think
Finally.
Pavia is going to take down Rocky Top, and Vanderbilt hopefully can sneak into the college football playoff. What a great story that would be.
I'm 95% sure every time we picked Vandy on this show, they've covered. So, when we pick them, they cover. So, give me Vandy.
Last one of the college picks, Alabama at Auburn. The Iron Bowl, Alabama's a 6-point favorite. This is another one that's just every time it feels like the underdog shouldn't compete, they just find a way. Even if they don't win, Auburn just kind of hung around the last few years. 6 points. I'm torn on this one, to be honest, because if there's one thing Kalen DeBoer has not been good at, it's winning games as a road favorite. Anybody want to step up and go first here?
Rolling down the backwoods, Tennessee byway. One arm on the wheel. Roll Tide. Alabama's going to bounce back after a tough loss against Oklahoma and take care of the Tigers.
Bob didn't go far enough. He didn't get to make a little turtle doven on a Mason-Dixon night. Beat Auburn. That's what they're going to do, and they're going to beat them bad. Roll Tide, baby.
I guess I'll go Bama. I mean, it's the safe pick. Something's telling me, though. Something is telling me to watch out for the Auburn Tigers and DJ Durkin. When he gets this win, he may get the job. Because who are they going to hire that's better outside of John Summerall? But I'm going to go Bama. I'm going to do the right thing. All right, let's get a break in, gentlemen, so we have plenty of time to discuss the NFL slate. If we got time on the back end, we could talk about some other college games because it is a phenomenal slate as well. But let's go ahead and get that break in. NFL picks next. This is Hoist the Colors.
Hurry to Greenville Toyota for model year-end savings on a Camry. Just $229 a month. $229 a month. Or new RAV4, $279 a month. $279 a month. Only during our model year-end move-out. Right now at Greenville Toyota.
You know what the problem is with standard belts? Usually you have to choose between too tight or the opposite, too loose. But with Anson Belt and Buckle, you don't have to choose. We got rid of the holes and instead have a track system designed for micro-adjustability. That way you can enjoy a perfect fit every time. Anson Belt and Buckle. Find your perfect fit today.
Daughtridge Gas and Oil has been your dependable propane supplier for 95 years. Their trained technicians can service and properly install all your propane and natural gas appliances. Plus, Daughtridge Gas and Oil is your backyard expert with fire pits, grills, smokers, and more, including quality outdoor furniture at their Greenville Patio and Hearth Shop at 1901 Charles Boulevard. Go by and see the knowledgeable staff at Daughtridge Gas and Oil for propane delivery or call 756-1345.
Other restaurants claim their food is fresh and fast, but are they friendly? At Moore's, you're treated like family the minute you walk into their doors. With locations in Winterville, New Bern, Swansboro, Morehead City, and Jacksonville. We've been practicing what we preach since 1945. At Moore's, our barbecue is slow cooked and smoked over real wood daily until it's so tender it's falling off the bone. Combined with our fresh chicken, cooked-to-order seafood, and homemade fixins, we're sure you'll agree. If it's not Moore's, it's less.
Your confidence makes everything look good. You see the world in vivid color, not black and white. Swing through your neighborhood Fantastic Sam's Cut in Color and let our experienced stylists take you from everyday to extraordinary.
Fantastic Sam's hair salons are locally owned and operated. Our full-service salons are conveniently located in Goldsboro, Kinston, Greenville, New Bern, Jacksonville, and Calabash. Stop in today at Fantastic Sam's, where the possibilities are endless.
It's Greenville Toyota's model year-end move-out. Save on a new Corolla, just $149 a month. $149 a month. Or new Tacoma, $249 a month. $249 a month. Now get a
Remember,
move on
get
and
the
save at
podcast of the
Greenville
show on the
Toyota.
IBX Media app or where you get your podcasts.
Got it. You don't have to tell me twice. I remember it exactly.
Stephen Igo and Hoist the Colors on 94.3 The Game.
Looking forward to a fun week of football and Thanksgiving starting on Thursday. This is Hoist the Colors, final segment here on a football Wednesday. We got Bobby Harward in making our picks along with Philip Pilkington. Guys, let's dive right into the NFL. Packers at Lions, Thanksgiving Day. This is a big game in the NFC North. The Bears are quietly on top of the division, 8-3-0. Packers at 7-3-1, followed by the Lions at 7-4. Lions 2.5-point favorite at home. Usually you want to stay away from taking the Lions on Thanksgiving Day historically, but I think this is almost a must-win for them, and I think they get it done. The Packers just have not looked great recently. I know they've won some games, but I'm going Lions in the Dome. Bobby.
You know, to me, both teams have not looked good. This is just a difficult one to pick because they've both been in a funk. There's just some weird stuff going on in Detroit with Dan Campbell taking over play calling. I mean, they scored 44 against the Commanders, but I feel like the three of us could have gone out and scored at least 21 points. Give me the Packers.
Yeah, they're both in a funk, but I'm going to go with desperate times call for desperate measures. Give me the team who's on the outside looking in, was knocking at the door on that stupid Monday Night Football graphic they did. When you're knocking on the door with the Panthers next to you, man, you gotta find a way to get past and the Cowboys were in that graphic too. I believe in Jared Goff. Give me the lines.
Chiefs are 3.5-point favorites at the Cowboys, and another kind of desperate game really for both teams. Both teams coming off a win, but still both on the outside looking in. If the season started today, the Chiefs and the Cowboys would be out of the playoffs. Chiefs on the road, short week, 3.5. I'm going to say the win, and it still wasn't pretty, but the way they did it gives them some confidence. They've been struggling in one-score games. I'm going to go Chiefs on the road here. I'm still not a big Cowboys believer, although it's good to see Savon Rebel playing some ball, and I hope they win. I'm pulling for Dallas, but I'm going Chiefs here, Bobby.
Yeah, I think Dallas gets brought back to life a little bit, or down to earth, excuse me. I mean, they've defense has performed well the last 3 weeks, but it's been 3 terrible offenses in the Cardinals, Raiders, and Eagles. Give me the Chiefs.
I picked Dallas last week to be riding high, and what goes up must come down. Give me Kansas City.
Sorry, Kenny Curlins, and any Cowboys fans in the chat, including intern Isaiah as well. The Bears are at the Eagles. This is the Black Friday game, I believe, and the Eagles are a 7-point favorite. And kind of going off what Philip said here, Eagles riding low, Bears riding high. I think this is a true reversal of fortunes here, or a reversal of morales. And so I'm going to go Eagles big. I think they cover the 7. I think they're just better than the Bears. And at home, I'm going to take them in a bounce-back spot. Bobby?
I'm with you. I think the Eagles are better than the Bears. I don't know how good their offense is, though, and that's a large number. So I'm going to go Bears to cover. I do think the Eagles win outright.
Yeah, I'm just trying to see here. The last time the Eagles won a game by double digits or by more than one score was October the 26th against the Giants. With that being said, I don't know. I'm going to go. Damn. Can I pick this Friday morning? Give me Chicago. I don't know. Chicago keeps it close.
I feel like we're due a big Saquon game. Like, when is that? Maybe it just won't happen.
You're trying to vouch for your own pick. You're trying to sit here
I'm just
when
saying.
They don't cover, and you're like, well, I don't think Saquon's going to have a good game.
When Saquon's running wild, I'm just saying. It's going to happen on Black Friday. This is the time. We're due. Rams at the Panthers. 10.5. I'm going to regret this, but give me the Panthers. I picked against the Rams in a big spread last week and regretted it. I'm going to do it again. Traveling across the country. At some point, they're going to have a letdown, even if they win here. Panthers cover 10.5, Bobby.
This is a massive spread. This Panthers offense is just too bad for
Bryce
me
Young is
not
just terrible, man.
Yeah, and this Rams defense is one of the best in the NFL. I think my favorite thing about this game is we're going to be sitting in Joe Theismann's restaurant watching this with Philip Pilkington. I am excited about that, but give me the Rams.
Yeah, you guys might learn some new words that you will not be able to repeat in front of your young children. Here's the thing, though, Stephen. You said the Rams are crossing the country. They are doing a normal cross of the country. They are coming home or coming when they're supposed to. The Panthers had to fly back on Monday night. They didn't get in until Tuesday. Their week is all out of whack. Did you see what they just did to Tampa Bay? Also, by the way, there are, I don't know how many players in the NFL. All but one of them are playing NFL football. Matthew Stafford is playing Madden right now. He hadn't thrown an interception in 3 months. He is going to absolutely destroy the Panthers by 30. Give me the Rams.
He also hasn't had to throw at a quarterback like J.C. Horn over that
J.C.
entire
Horn's
time.
hurt. He's not
Is he
going to
really?
play. I don't think so. He's in concussion protocol. I don't think he's going to play.
Gosh. So he's going to be throwing at Mike Jenkins.
Mike Jackson.
Mike Jackson. He's so bad I can't even get his name right.
He's the same name as one of the most famous music artists of all time. You still don't even know his name.
Mike Jackson did have a pick of the Brock Purdy experience. So that was a terrible Monday Night Football game. Just what I thought it would be. But I'm still taking the Panthers, man. Got to believe. Got to believe out there. Bills are at the Steelers, 3.5. Bills are favored on the road. Aaron Rodgers, do we know if he's playing? I think I read he's leaning towards playing. Does it matter? Give me the Bills.
Yeah, the Steelers, I said this in the text, they're like the Scooby-Doo. You pull off the mask and they're a pretender. They are not a contender. Bills run away with this one.
Yeah, I'm going Bills tier 2.
All right, and the big game, the one everybody's been waiting on, i.e. the three of us, because we'll be there. Broncos, Commanders, Sunday Night Football. I'm flying from West Palm Beach back to D.C. to meet up with the boys. We're going Broncos 6.5-point favorites. We're most likely getting Mariota here, right, Bob?
That's what it's seeming, unless there's some surprise injury news that drops like on Friday, but doubtful. He hasn't been cleared for contact yet, so I don't see how he plays.
There's a chance Patrick Surtain will be back. Either way, I don't know if the Commanders can score more than 10 points here if Denver shows up on defense. I don't know how good the Broncos' offense is, honestly, without J.K. Dobbins, but I'm going to say Denver wins an ugly one and they win it by more than a touchdown. Give me Broncos to cover 6.5.
You know what question is coming. How's it going to feel to lose to a Marcus Mariota-led team? That beer is going to be flowing, it's going to be cold, and it's going to be in my right hand because my left hand will be up all game. Hail to the Commanders.
Bobby, you're drinking the Kool-Aid just because we're going. You know if we weren't going to this game, you wouldn't be picking Washington. Look, if Jaden Daniels playing,
100%.
I might even pick Washington outright in this one just because Broncos are due for a letdown with all these slow starts. But I do think, Washington's offense is just too bad even when Denver does start slow. Give me Denver.
This is 100% a losable game with Denver's offense. Every game is losable.
And you and Thomas being there.
Shock me. Yeah. The Broncos haven't lost since I went to Monday Night Football. So I'm worried I'm going to reverse the good run and curse it by going back to see them. All right, we're out of time. Everybody, enjoy your Thanksgiving. Bobby, Philip, appreciate you guys as always. We will be back Monday, 12 noon, to recap the Pirates game and the entire week of football. Everybody have a happy holiday weekend and enjoy some football and turkey. We'll see you Monday.
Steve and Igo. Get a recap of this show at 943thegame.com and on your IBX Media app, on Twitter,